The question isn't who can prophesy. The real question is who dares to hold the prophet accountable.
Your gift will get you through the door, but you need character to stay in the door.
Behind every gift, there's a hidden battle.
So what covering is for is not so much for your gifting, but for your character.
And what you're about to hear, few have ever spoken aloud. You are watching Prophetic Ethics, moderated by St. James.
Wow.
Who holds the prophet accountable when they operate in rebellion, Master Prophet?
By the company of prophets that they're with that can challenge their gift. Peter was the chiefest of apostles, right? He was the cornerstone. Thou art Peter. Upon this I will build my church. But then there was a company that was able to challenge him and challenge his gift. Challenge it. See, now watch this. Your gift will get you through the door, but you need character to stay in the door. And so a lot of people's gifts and talents have got them promoted in the world, but their character can't keep them at the level of the world where they're arrived in.
That's true.
So what covering is for is not so much for your gifting, but for your character. Peter, you're anointed, you filled with the Holy Ghost. Paul, you're anointed, filled with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, but I got to address this racist issue that Peter got going on right now. And he confronted him because it came out of that apostolic circle. So even when you become a prophet and develop, like I'm connected, right, with a college of bishops. I have bishops that I am aligned with. Because what is an uncorrectable prophet? An uncorrectable prophet has no alignment to no institutions. And when there's no alignment, then they move from revelation, as our prophet have said, to rebellion.
Yes.
Right? So you can either choose to stay in alignment, which is righteousness, or get in rebellion, which is as the sin of witchcraft. And what is witchcraft? Witchcraft is not doing hoodoo and voodoo. Witchcraft is being out of alignment with the church or the community that you are among. So we got to check your alignment.
And I want to say something. I've been open about this in my recent interview with you. Even when me and my father stopped speaking, I always made sure there were older men of God that helped to cover me. So at one moment it was Prophet Joseph Hargo. Another moment it was Benny Hinn for a season. I would be a part of his services. I would be there. I would go there. And I asked him to. I said, I'm not talking to my dad. I want a man of God. And so as prophets, you're covering, and I want to be clear because some people that are prophetic feels like their covering has to be a prophet as well. It does not have to be a prophet. It is just a man of God that steps with wisdom that can help shape your gift and that can help a man or a woman of God. Let's be clear here, because some people just think it has to be a man. It can be a woman of God. Mom always talks about your mentor who was a woman of God that covered you. So,
and I had a woman that covered me. Who was it? Prophetess Loretta Taylor. I spent years with her. A matter of fact, she was for a season, was the woman that helped birth Zoe Ministries into a church and foretold of the exit and it being pushed out. And I went there. Sometimes I would go to the home. Pastor Deborah could tell you. I would go to her home on Monday and be back home until Wednesday. Because what was supposed to be a moment of an hour, 2 hours of prayer ended up being 2 days of prayer. And I wouldn't even be back home. And we were in prayer the whole time in the temple. Prayer, lay it before the Lord, get something to eat, praying again. Now we're not eating, fasting and praying. And it became a shut in. And I couldn't leave out of that place and hit the altar of God until I got that stuff out of me. So we're talking about days of tarrying, where you tarried and waited until deliverance came. So the covering, as you were saying, there are some that are birthing mothers. Who are the mothers that are birthing you? And she had to work with my character. You know, you can't retaliate. You're going to have to walk in love. Don't let that take your gift. You're going to have to let that go. Hold on to that. But they're wrong in what they're doing. This is racism. This is so wrong. I know, but God's working a work. And here's a vision. This is the church that God's getting ready to birth through you. And so you need that covering. You need a shoulder to cry on when you need to. You need a person to hold you. You need that embrace. Because if you take mayonnaise and leave the lid off, because you says you don't need no covering, what happened with the mayonnaise? It goes bad, right? And we can tell when you've gone bad because the lid is off. Because the covering wasn't there for the purpose of not domination, but for preservation.